on the program?
So that video I think 7 minutes long, and he goes from doing side things like that to these things to pulling back. It's a nice long thing here.
So you just throw that in and you follow the video.
Follow the video, yeah. And then once you guys are super comfortable with it, you can just put the band on. Okay, guys, next drill. It'll probably take you a couple of weeks to. I still can't remember. I still put the video on. Oh yeah, this one again.
So probably 2 or 3 times.
Yeah. So probably like 4, 5 years. Okay. All right. Let's move into scaling now. So this is now we're now going to teach people to start doing a pull-up. All right. And there's a couple of things we're going to do here. You can have the people doing ring pull-ups and ring rows. So in a workout, if we aren't doing pull-ups, they're doing ring pull-ups and ring rows. All right. Now there's 2 different movements here completely. A ring row is its own movement, like a sit-up and a snatch. All right. So ring pull-ups are completely different to ring rows. Ring rows in the pull-up scene is actually its own movement. All right. So you're going to set up the rings rib height. You can RX it by putting your feet up on a box, lie back in a plank position. Horizontal to the ground, and then you're actually going to pull straight down. That's an RX ring row. Okay, from there, feet off the box, and then obviously increase at angle. We do ring pull-ups for a pull-up scale. All right, you can also do a ring row. It's fine, but we want to try and get the up-down pull. All right, so you're going to set up rings to about shoulder height. All right, so nice and high for a ring pull-up scale, because then what I can do there is I can then drop directly underneath with my bum off the ground in this position here, again head through neutral to then actually do that pull up. Alright, pull straight up, touch the chest, straight back down. I mustn't pull up with the hips. So you'll see guys in this position here, they try and do this and their hip comes through and then they can't get the height. Alright, tell them then to either scale them to ring rows because they're still not strong enough to actually pull themselves up, or use their legs a little bit more. People can't sometimes get the like, oh but I'm trying to use my legs, and then they still just look pear shape. Just put them into ring rows. Like, oh, let's go ring rows.
Not just that. Do you know how to make that easier?
For the.
So a ring pull-up itself is very hard.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So do you know how to make that, what you just did, easier? So you just walk your feet backwards. So get.
Okay. So you'll just go here. So that would be hard if my feet were kind of in front. So just walk further back and then pull. Okay. That's perfect.
Yeah.
All right.
And then. I don't know if it's right or wrong, but I don't let my people turn their hands. So if they're trying to mimic a pull-up,
they're going to do
you can't
pronated
turn your
like
hands
that.
in a pull-up. So I don't let them turn their hands.
Alright, so guys, pulling up like that. We are going to be programming in a lot of sup and pronated stuff. So look for a SUP ring pull-up and a, let's just call it a PRO pull-up. I'm trying to get Box Champ to fix their prefixes on the program, so when you open it with a whiteboard, that you see if it's sup or pronated or little notes like that. Okay. So let's have a look at that. So again, if I'm doing it tough here, it's going to be all the way through, hips directly underneath the ring, pulling straight up, straight back down. If I'm going to be scaling this, I'm going to walk further back. Now I can use my legs more. I can feel that all the body weight's actually now on the legs, where I can pull up and back down. Right.
Gee, then a very good cue to use, because people don't get how to not look up to the roof, is to push your shoulders forward as you pull up and to push your bum back. So you want your shoulders in front of your bum at all times.
Okay, so bum
because
behind
otherwise
you,
people then lift
pressing
their hips
through.
up versus.
So if I'm coming here, I'm going to press my bum back.
And your shoulders
through.
So
Something
you'll
just
feel
popped
you're
in my
using your
shoulder.
lats a lot more.
Okay.
Something just popped.
Sounds
Like a
good.
poop. Like a pussy.
It's normal.
It's like a shoulder fart.
Aren't you a lot older now as well?
Yeah, still warming up. Alright, ring pull-ups, ring rows. Guys, for the ring rows now, drop the ring. So this is shoulder height, alright? Bum off the ground, so depending how long your arms are. This, if I had normal arm length, I'd still probably have my bum on the ground. So I normally have them about here for the guys, so a little bit higher than this. Ring rows must be rib height. It's quite tough if you have the rings too high, you can't get to full extension, alright? So at the top here, the guys battle to touch the chest. Let's try be as pedantic as you can be. Touch the chest. Alright, so it's either shoulders, chest, boobs, whatever it is, it's got to be that distance. If the person's not getting there, just go up to them, walk higher up, scale it. Alright. Cool. Ring rows, any questions on this?
So I have male members who think that it's much more manly to do a pull-up in a band than it is to do a ring pull-up.
Yeah.
So they don't kip, but they do a pull-up in the band.
Like strict pull-ups.
And I kind of let them do it because they feel more manly. Is that okay?
I think let's just not
Try
have any
not to,
bands, yeah. Just take bands out of the program. Yeah.
I also don't like bands.
Yeah.
Why do
Well,
men
it
feel
makes no sense, because then it's...
Because if you it's the same as a ring pull-up. Why must you? I don't understand. No, but I want to.
I think just on another note with that, put the person in their place in terms of ego and just be like, hey dude, no.
Can't do it.
Like,
No.
yeah. Yeah.
Garth, I have a question. There was a point where a lot of girls in the morning class, they were like, ring pull-ups is way too easy, but they couldn't get the pull-ups. There's nothing we can do in between that step. So I actually just let them do pull-ups like Susanne. So like she started and she wasn't getting the full pull-up, and every time I'll just tell her, you need to go
You've got to get them higher, got to get them higher.
And eventually she got it, but there was a
Yeah.
point where you kind of just need to let them do pull-ups
Yeah.
until they get it.
So it's a very good comment, guys. So when you're now, this is now still going back to, this is probably leaning into our pull-up progression now. But when you are going from a workout, doing pull-ups, ring pull-ups, or scaling to ring rows, try get, especially like with the girls or the ladies that are trying to get pull-ups, if they kind of getting the kipping progression and they are like just not getting pull-up, let them go till like fatigue and failure, and then be like, okay, I think you should now scale. And let them understand it. Be like, cool, if there's a workout with 10 pull-ups and 5 rounds, do 5, and if you fatigue, do the other 5 in the rings. So get them to set up a set of rings, get them to set up pull-ups, they start doing good pull-ups, their chin's not getting in. I sometimes, even with the guys, I let them go, it's like, okay, it's not making, I'll go to them after the workout and be like, listen, good job on the pull-ups today, but just note that you're still not high enough, you've got to work on just getting the height. So try and let them go, because they are getting the action, they are getting the strength there, and then hopefully with a strength or with a negative, which I'll talk about here, so with the negative drills that we've been doing now, so with the negative part of the program with the strength, we're going to starting at chest height, so that they can get that strength, because all that is just the last little bit of strength through.
Yeah, I
Okay.
also I let them do half pull-ups.
Yeah.
But I don't like it, but they
Okay.
can. It's just they're just in between.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I just make a point after every workout. I'll say, listen, you still, like you said, you're
Yeah.
still not
Yeah.
100%,
Yeah.
but keep practicing. You're gonna get there.
Yeah.
It's like,
Guys, and I think it's very important is to go to that athlete directly after they're done, when they're tired, be like, listen, great job, but you've got to get higher in your kips, so that they know. And be like, in the workout, I want to see you putting the notes in. So in their workout, they put their scaled, whatever it is, so they tick scaled because they didn't get the height. They were scaling to some degree, they weren't really getting it, and they make a note there. Pull-ups are still not high enough. In a set of 10, I'm still only getting 3 good ones, 4 bad ones, and then I scale my last 2, whatever it is, to the rings or whatever it is. Okay.
So I don't know how anal you are, but I do not let anyone try keeping pull-ups unless they have strict pull-ups. Like
Yeah.
no one.
So guys, that's quite a good thing. So now with the negatives and with our pull-ups, if guys can't get up off the box, we'll go into that progression now. So if they can't get up off the negative, and then they're actually here, and then going down with a good descent, with at least like 5 sets of 3 type of thing. So if we're doing 8 sets of that 3-second negative thing, if they can't do at least half of those well, then they shouldn't be doing kipping, because they're still overloading their shoulders in. And you can see it quite quickly when there's like this like heavy drop at the bottom of the kip where they're kind of like landing through. Just take them off the bar immediately and be like, listen here, we just need to work on some strength still, jump in the rings, just make sure there's no
They'll
impact.
thank you in like 8
Yeah.
weeks, you know,
Yeah.
when they can actually not have
Yeah.
arms.
Guys, the major part of the back of the shoulder there is just all the smaller muscles that you can just dig your fingers in, like here. This is always sore. Like we did pull-ups yesterday or the day before, this is now stiff. So all these little muscles here, they're the ones that get overloaded, and it's got to do with all those rotator cuff muscles and things like that. That's why this TheraBand drill is so important. TheraBand drill is so important.
That's those
You
things.
know what you mean.
So those things we did now this morning,
Yes.
he does those with the TheraBand.
Okay, so let's go into the pull-up progression. We're going to talk about the kip knee tuck, hip thruster, push away, and then from this progression, you can add in chest to bar pull-ups and bar muscle-ups. So if guys start getting pull-ups, you will not ever let someone do a butterfly progression in this here, because you're going to confuse them. All right, this movement is, again, butterfly pull-ups are almost like a snatch and a clean. Yes, you're moving a barbell, but they're completely different things. All right. So when we're teaching this, rather go into chest to bar or into bar muscle-ups if you're getting an advanced athlete. On a day that we are then trying to get butterfly or max set pull-ups or whatever it is, that's when they can just throw in the butterfly or whatever it is. All right. Butterfly pull-ups are a very weak pull-up. All right. So as soon as you do too many butterfly pull-ups without a strength program, like a negative program or just normal pull-up progressions or bar muscle, you're going to get a weaker athlete. All right, I've seen it myself over a couple of years of not doing any negative stuff, like literally 2 years that I didn't do anything pull-ups. My pull-ups are still fantastic, but I can't even pull my own body weight more than 5 times something. All right. Okay, so focus on that. This needs to be seen as completely different too. What
Do you
now?
teach butterfly pull-ups?
Yeah.
Hmm?
Like very on like a Saturday
Yeah.
where there's like rope climb technique and then butterfly.
No, I kind of feel like it's something you're going to learn how to do or
It's
not.
reserved for competition.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
it's like
I don't think it's a good pull-up at all.
Yeah.
It's for speed and
Yeah.
efficiency.
Yeah. Guys, I think it's a good note. So there will be a time and a place for us to coach it. It'll probably be on a Saturday if you're doing extra drills like rope climb technique, things like that, to teach an individual athlete a butterfly pull-up. But I think just as like a normal pull-up progression, I would rather see someone at the box doing 30, Kurt's did 39 normal pull-up things they're max set now. Like massive amount of pull-ups. And I mean, that's what I'd rather see because that's a very strong kind of conditioned pull-up. If he then learns to do butterfly, it'll just be more efficient and faster.
Yeah.
Alright. Okay.
Or
And
make
for
it
competition
stronger.
format to get a quicker Fran time or whatever it is. Okay. Alright, so let's go through this progression. So the first one there would just be kipping. So again, we've gone through that already. So when you coach this, I normally coach it in that method and I try and repeat these items. Alright, so when I'm kipping, I'll kip, alright? Then I'll say, okay, that's our kip, alright? Then I'll jump up again and I'll say, okay, so we kip, then we kip knee tuck. Kip, then we kip knee tuck. Alright, so then I try and get them to try and transfer from a kip into a kipping knee tuck, just so that they're practicing a little bit more, alright? Try not just do kipping knee tucks, try not do like multiple kipping knee tucks. A kipping knee tuck will come into a toes to bar kind of kipping progression when you're just trying to get further back in that kip, alright? Then you add the floor hip thruster, alright, so that's when we lie on the floor and we pop the hip. Alright, I'll just demo quickly, we don't need to put it on full. Alright, from here, I'll just tuck up the knees and pop the hip. Alright, now that will then help you get up to the bar. So when I'm then going from a kipping knee tuck into hip thruster, I'm trying to string those two things together. So I'm tucking the knees up, getting the elevation, and then I'm popping the hip to throw me towards the rig, which is then helping me kip towards the rig. I don't need any strength to actually do that. So then I'll coach that again. So I'll say, okay, kip knee tuck, and pop the hip. And then I normally coach a let go there. So I normally just let you like fall through, because normally the person doesn't get anywhere close to the pull-up. They kind of just go towards the rig and drop down. All right. So that would be probably a nice kind of stepping stone for any new beginner athlete to try and get that progression through. And you can almost leave a new athlete on that for months, all right, maybe even a full cycle. All right, so if they're new to the box and they're falling in a full 6 to 8 week cycle or whatever it is, they could do that progression for the whole cycle.
Which,
Alright.
so this is now someone who doesn't have a strict pull-up. Where do they stop?
So they would probably stop.
Knee tuck.
Yeah, they would go up to the hip thruster. All right, you wouldn't start letting them. That's why I said let them fall off, because you don't want to have any tension in them dropping back into the kind of, because now they may be used to kipping. They've got shoulder activations. They then are getting that backward drill with their knees coming up. All right, that's an upward motion. There's not a lot of impact on it. Then they're going to kip and then just fall off the bar. All right. If they're a little bit stronger, then you can try get them to hold, push away, even if they don't get up to the top. Push away and then try repeat, because then they're going back into that flow again. All right, and that's where then you'll teach the hold push away. All right. This again, guys, they can rather use a box or use a buddy to boost them up. All right. So in a lot of gymnastics things that I've done, just like the gymnastics certifications I get when Dave taught us, there's always a buddy boost rather. All right. So if I'm trying to start at the top of pull up, I'm going to boost my buddy up and hold them at the top, then step away and let them drop through into it. All right. Simi, will you demo here quickly just so I can show you guys this?
What do you reckon? It's almost like now keeping pull-up, but then a negative.
Yeah, so I do that. If they can do a keeping
Yeah.
pull-up, I
All right,
do it.
guys, so you're going to spot your buddy through the ribs. All right, don't go high up, it's going to be awkward, all right, or ticklish, and don't go lower down, because that's going to be even more awkward, all right? so through there, I'm going to 3, 2, 1, go, and jump up, all right? Then from here, I'm going to then pick the person up, and then move out the way for them to then go. No, you're going to go up there, all right? So I'm going to help the person up, and then move away for them to then go into a negative or into the drill, all right? Okay, thank you, that's fine. All right, so,
That's really hard.
because because I overtouched the thumb. Alright. So let's say that I got kind of squatted up to the top, so I was here. Alright, then that person's going to now practice dropping into a kip, then a knee tuck, and pull. Alright, kip, and then a knee tuck, and then a knee tuck, hip hop, pull. Alright, and they're going to try and repeat that full cycle to get more practice in. Alright, dropping through into a good front of the kip, because what happens is that guys don't push away at the top and they don't drop back into a good kip. So you want them to kind of control that kip back into the kip. If you just start trying to get rep after reps, that's fine, but once you can actually manage this movement. Alright, so then if I'm going to go practice kipping pull-ups, I would do rep after rep, but once I can actually control it, like I said, I'm getting used to the hip hop. Once your hip thrust and your pull-ups getting better, you can also remember that movement must be quite compact. So I'm actually not going to have this big knee tuck and throwing of the hip. It's going to kind of be in a compact position. Alright, so if I'm an athlete that's now getting better at my pull-ups and I'm a little bit knee tucky and a little bit massive hip popping, what I'm going to do is try and tie it up where I kip. There's going to be no knee tuck. I'm just going to pop the hip through, pop the hip through. Alright, so there's going to be way less of a knee tuck, explosive, big kind of performance kipping pull-up. Alright, any questions with that? Any
Sorry,
demos?
Just a question again, so we don't allow them to do this after they can do like strict pull-ups, or they can do the keep to the top. It's just the dropping. The keeping on top is okay, but just the dropping, is that where all the stress is in your shoulders and your
Yeah.
stomach,
Yeah.
So I would even like,
Up is fine.
depending on the athlete, some by hip thrust, I would maybe like start drawing a line, like
Yeah.
depending on the athlete
Yeah.
or the person.
Guys, and if they're new to the class and you don't have a history of them, or you've coaching them for the first time because they don't normally train at that time, then just suss them out in terms of, okay, watch them for a bit. No, okay, like you don't really get up there. You don't necessarily have to have a kipping pull-up to get to the top or a strict pull-up up, but you need to be in a strong position in the negative, alright? Because I think a lot of the girls can't do a strict pull-up yet, but they are strong once they're at the top through that motion, and they have got good shoulder strength at the bottom. Alright, so it's a
You just don't
completely
want to
different.
hurt anyone.
Yeah.
So Garth's got a few athletes, and then I think Michelle's got one, maximum two, that are able to do like big sets of keeping pull-ups, but they can't do one strict pull-up. They also can't do a tight keeping pull-up. So they've got this big, they swing their legs back so their heels almost kick their bum. And then it's a big swinging kip, and they come up and they can do the pull-up and they can do many reps of it. But it's not a healthy position for your shoulder.
So,
What, you know,
I was gonna say, so do you not think that's bad then? So we should
It is, so you've got to
program
limit.
more strict pull-ups.
yeah, so what I do is, so now I'll put like 8 minutes aside for kipping practice or negative pull-ups. So it depends on where the athlete is. And like a lot of people bitch about their hands all the time. So I'll make them take a break and then move to hollow holds and arch. So that they're still kipping, but now they're not on. So like a lot of people, they don't want to learn how to do a pull-up. Like, and also like I kind of don't want 120 kilos hanging from the bar learning to do a pull-up. So I do a lot of stuff like, we've got 8 minutes. I'm going to help as many people as I can, but if you're that person that is not ready to do pull-ups, then they're doing Supermans and hollow holds and stuff like that.
Guys, in the program you'll see there'll be, on the same day program, you'll have this pull-up progression. So pull-up progression, alright, with all those steps, okay. Then there'll also be an 8-minute EMOM, which will have a 2-second pause with a 3-second, I think I call it a 2-second hold. It's 2H3N, and then it's every minute 3 reps. And then that, you'll see that that's that negative, alright. So we would actually put 8 minutes aside for this, maybe 6 minutes aside for that, alright. And then try and get everybody to do this, even if it's feet up on the box up thing, alright. And I'll show you that now. We'll go into the negative now, alright. Okay.
It's
So
okay to let them, sometimes let them swap between the two. So 1 minute you do the keeping practice, and the next one you do your
that's
negative.
perfect as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They get not bored, but sometimes they just stand around and
Yeah.
talk.
So I find that the gymnastics EMOMs are super boring. I mean, even when we're doing it and you're doing holds and you're doing dip holds, like it's the most boring thing ever. Alright. Okay. Alright, so I'm gonna restart the
So
video.
I was in that gym for a month and a half,